Chef. I've got one here from Bill in Boise.
Excellent.
And Bill in Boise wants to know how to saute and roast mushrooms to get that crispy golden texture that you get in restaurants. I can relate to this one because what I do at home is I cook my mushrooms in a way that is in butter, olive oil, wine, and it ends up a little bit soupy, but it's delicious. But I don't think that's sauteing, is it?
It's not. You probably even use a saute pan. But what you're making is stewed mushrooms. And what we're going to do today is cook mushrooms over a really high heat so that a browning reaction can take place. And what it gives you is not just brown color and great texture, but hundreds and hundreds of flavors and aromas that you will find really compelling and really captivating. To make perfectly sauteed mushrooms, the first thing I'm going to do is heat my pan with a little bit of oil, about a tablespoon for 1 pound of mushrooms. You know the oil has reached the right temperature when you see it shimmer a little in the pan. Now I'm adding a single layer of cremini. If you add too many, you'll end up with steamed mushrooms instead of nicely browned mushrooms. A hot pan that's large enough prevents the mushrooms from stewing in their own juices. Add a little salt, add a pinch of pepper, and then let them start to brown and caramelize without stirring. In this other pan, I'm going to saute some shiitake mushrooms. I'm using a slightly lower heat on these because they're a drier mushroom. Next, to give them great flavor, I'm going to add some sprigs of thyme to each pan and a whole peeled clove of garlic. Now that they've browned, give them a quick toss. As you can see, they're starting to develop a beautiful, crispy texture, and a lot of the moisture has already evaporated. Spread them out in the pan and allow them to brown on the other side. If we look at our pan of shiitake mushrooms, they're browning a lot faster because they're a drier mushroom. To finish with some additional flavor, I like to add a little butter at this stage, but just be careful not to let the butter burn. Now we just need to remove the sprigs of thyme and the garlic clove, and they're ready to go. As you can see, these mushrooms are tender and they're beautifully golden and caramelized. Back to our shiitake pan, these mushrooms also look perfect. They're also ready to go. You can use sauteed mushrooms in all kinds of dishes. Top your steaks, burgers, or chicken with mushrooms. Mix them in with pasta and sauces, or add them to rice and grain dishes. Add them to salads, to wraps and soups. Fill your morning omelet with mushrooms, or even use them as a great side dish. You can also saute mushrooms in big batches and then freeze them for later use. Now I want to show you how to roast mushrooms. Roasting is another delicious and easy way to prepare mushrooms to bring out their umami flavor and to give you that same wonderful browning reaction that we saw in sauteing. You want to use larger pieces of mushrooms for roasting, so I suggest using whole, halved, or quartered mushrooms. Here I have whole button mushrooms that I put in a freezer bag. I added olive oil, thyme, and minced garlic, and then left them in the fridge to marinate for 20 minutes, but no more than overnight. I'm going to pour them into a hot pan, add a little salt and pepper, and then we're off to the oven. The oven is preheated to 500 degrees, and I suggest roasting them for about 10 minutes. You might need to roast them a little bit longer if you have larger pieces. So let's take a look at our roasted mushrooms. They've got a beautiful golden brown color. They're not dried out. They're nice, they're tender, and they've got lots of flavor. These would make a perfect side dish, or once they're cooled, would go great in a salad. Mushrooms make a great addition to any dish.